Hello, everyone. Today I would like to speak about spiritual renunciation and yoga. There are millions of people nowadays who supposedly practice yoga, who aim at equanimity or some kind of look for different spiritual experiences, trance-like states, out-of-body experiences, astral projections. All of these things are very popular. Third eye activation, light body activation. But we don't really understand. We get attracted to these terms without really knowing what these terms mean, because we don't have that reference point. We don't have that standard. We think we do because we read someone's life, about someone's achievements, or their followers wrote about their achievements, and now we imagine how we could have been there, or we have to be sort of searching for the same thing. So we keep on wasting our energy instead of simply understanding the secret or the main key to all spiritual teachings, which is being within, which is realizing that it is the consciousness, or we as consciousness, living in this body. And the fact that we keep on empowering everything else outside of ourselves keeps on deluding ourselves. So we fall for words, we fall for concepts or beautiful explanations, when the truth is very simple and remains hidden, because our minds are so complex and dispersed that they are very, very convinced that they will find the truth in the projected reality. And the reality is that they keep on failing to find this truth in the projected reality. And the reality remains that all of these beings who keep on supposedly practicing yoga, refining themselves, end up dying like everyone else, end up being sick, misaligned, lose their life and longevity. So where are the results of yoga? Where are the fruits of yoga? And the fruit of yoga remained unattainable simply because the majority of people practice their own delusion in the name of spirituality, in the name of yoga, in the name of whatever spiritual teaching. Because these spiritual teachings are dead. Dead because they have no transmissive power, and because there are no living representatives of these teachings that showed through their own vehicle, through their own body, the results of their teachings or the result of their practice. And so, true yoga, true knowledge are self-preserved, and they remain unattainable because this is the high frequency through which we're supposed to refine ourselves. But before we refine ourselves through this frequency, we have to recognize it and align with it within ourselves. And this is called awakening. There's no other awakening. This is very simple. But this awakening has to be there because of the inner frequency within the soul that is looking for it, but not looking for it actively. It's vibrating. It's intuitively trying to find the pathway within itself, and thus it awakens or attracts the experience through which it awakens. But yet it has enough wisdom and humility to understand that awakening itself is not going to lead it anywhere. Awakening to yoga, equanimous being, or absorption, in other words, experience of samadhi, different kind of experiences, just allow you to understand that you are much more than the body. But the body is the invaluable reflection of your consciousness, and you are to work with the body, because the body will, as long as you refine yourself, be a reflection of yourself. And so you cannot just deny certain things. You have to be in alignment with the body. Then you are on the right path, and this path doesn't even need to have any name. It is the right path because you are wholesome and complete. And through that wholesomeness and completeness, you can recognize the undercurrents within oneself, the currents of sort of temporary nature that arise and subside. And when they arise, they try to push you to connect in an unhealthy way with the projected reality. And because you are awakened, you become aware of that and you recognize this process, and so you can gradually dissolve the links, unhealthy links with the projected reality, detach the sense of self from that projected reality, and retain your wholesomeness within the body, cultivating your body, rejuvenating and preserving life for long in this body, thus becoming the vessel of yoga, thus becoming the vessel of refinement and the reflection of that spiritual inner work, the work of refinement that is your evolutionary achievement without you needing to speak about it or look for validation in the projected reality, without a need or an interest to become anything within the projected reality. Because as long as that interest or desire remains there, it means you haven't really refined yourself through that awakening. You haven't really cultivated yourself, because these undercurrents of the limited consciousness or limited self keep on pushing you to copulate with the projected reality. And thus you are not truly a renunciate, because a renunciate is not the one who renounced himself or herself outwardly, who ran into the woods. The true master remains in the city, in the village, in their tribe, without telling anyone who they truly are, because they conceal their light and they only emanate it to the degree that is safe for them and for others. Foolish people taste something spiritually, experience something spiritually, and instantly run to proclaim themselves to be this or that. They want to be clowns, they want to practice something, they go into the action, because they haven't established themselves in the being. Because a true master has, a balance between being and action. They are not denying any of these, but they are in true alignment, and thus actions arise spontaneously and bear positive fruit without really attaching the master to the projected reality, yet bestowing full abundance. And yet the master is the master because they always remain complete and wholesome, and they relate to the projected reality or interact with the projected reality only from that standpoint of wholesomeness and completeness, not otherwise. The fools keep on running in circles, keep on emphasizing spiritual action, keep on emphasizing the external reality of their spiritual being, and thus lose themselves to that falsehood. And because they lose themselves to this falsehood, even if they awakened and experience their ultimate reality, they cannot cultivate themselves, meaning they cannot maintain that wholesomeness in the body. And their unrefined undercurrents, their unrefined limited self keeps on pushing themselves to connect with the projected reality in an unhealthy way, to find the sense of self in that projected reality. And that pursuit definitely leads them to their demise and to loss of energy and eventually life. And that's why yoga does not bear true fruit, because yoga means wholesomeness and cultivation of self within, without looking for tags and external paradigms of one's existence in whichever sense, spiritual, social, because you're already complete and you are content in the conditions and circumstances you are, and you grow out of that because you understand that the external circumstances do not define you, but you consecrate the place and you change those circumstances, you neutralize them, you bring them to balance. And that's how you prove that you are true yoga, the vessel of yoga, the vessel of that alignment and true master. But you remain silent and you know who you are. That's why you don't need to run around and validate yourself or look for validation in the projected reality. That's why you are the example of longevity, youth, and spiritual achievement without trying to show it to the world. because those who need to see, they will see themselves. Those who don't, they will keep on searching until they find. I hope this message brings some people some revelation, some release or relief. And if you focus within, you will definitely find the truth. If you understand through that focus within and awaken to the higher frequency of love and then realize your true sense of self, not the sense of self that you find in the projected reality, you will heal, align, transform, evolve, and realize the higher teachings effortlessly, because these higher teachings will arise within you, and you will have enough wisdom not to fall into the temptation of making anything out of yourself, out of your limited self, through these teachings, because you will understand that evolution goes on and it never ceases. And so you will focus and cultivate gratitude and humility, and thus high intelligence, to stay on the path in a wholesome way and avoid traps and further dispersion and loss of energy and life through false ideas, because you have realized the truth, which is you. Thank you.